Trying to fake out a potential A hit, but they're actually going to be following in behind this. Already spilling outside towards E-Box, where Rain is putting them down with a bit of pain. Twist on top of that, showing just why he's one of those most exciting prospects from NA. Missing a few shots there does afford them the luxury of going for a post plant, and Karrigan's trying to get up close with his USP. Player advantage now turns into a two-player advantage, and it's definitely faring in favor of FaZe. D-Hat and Snappy, Yadane and Paul, the last two members standing with a P250 in D-Hat's hands, and he removes the head of Twist. Bomb planted for Pop Dog, but FaZe have cleaned it up.
ENCE, again, definitely have enough to be dangerous in this round. They're looking to maybe get a pick towards outside Dotto on the scout.
Nice shot from Twist, though. Up close in the Pop Dog. Sprays down Alu, tries to transition into another couple, does significant damage, and Spinks will be finished off. The only ENCE member, though, that has struck thus far. Although Karrigan is low, they're going to try and hold on to both of their Galils. Dotto's also feeling worse for wear as well here, though Dust, but Snappy has at least came back in and puts the Latvian down. Kind of situation. Snappy is going to go for that peak, though. Seems like they do want to end this round with some more bloodshed and carnage, and Snappy, well, he'll reap the rewards of their aggression. Dotto's also dipped in, and suddenly it's a 1-on-2. coldzera, with it all to do by himself. The smoke will afford the save. Plant with 6 seconds. ENCE have clutched that. And now ENCE, they're struggling. They've been submerged. Spinks is going to try and give them a couple more breaths of oxygen. But now, with the smokes clearing, Dotto's got to do a lot of work with this MAC-10. He's been tagged down. He's been weakened. And now Rain goes in for the peak, but Dotto takes his head off.
Yeah, that kill kind of alleviates all the pressure they were feeling. And also the bomb's not committed yet. They could still pivot it if they feel they need to. Dotto, with the expendable MAC-10, is able to try to keep getting information in space, see if he can build a safety net for a team to come in and plant the bomb. But unfortunately for him, he's been traded 2 for 1. That leaves Spinks alone. Yes, he does have the AK and the head armor.
And take another avenue to defend the site. He's actually just stuck on the site itself, up close. This is where the glow should shine, but a lot of time has already ticked away. They need to get on the site, and in doing so, in amongst all this chaos, maybe Spinks can clutch it. There's the first spray down, needs to get the second. The full diffuse is coming through. Runs out of ammunition, switches to the block. He's missing everything. Pull the knife out, man. Spinks, not like this. The full diffuse.
Either way, that sense of panic costs dearly. FaZe gets the round back. But the buy is still there for ENCE. They're going to have some AKs come through, but a great utility combo is going to get FaZe the first frag of the round.
Flash into B, Karrigan capitalizes. Spray down onto Snappy. 2 more players over on Ivy, but the smoke will...
And so FaZe are still well set up to victory, but ENCE have an opening now, and that just adds to it.
That opening has been kicked wide and abruptly by D-Hat. 25 seconds. Now the rest of the troops have congregated in. Brokey 1-for-1 trade. A lot of damage to Spinks, who's been finished off. The MP9 does its job. 15 seconds. D-Hat has them both down in Pop Dog. He may not know that both players are here. You can see he's looking towards Connector as a parting gift of a dink from Rain's MP9. Now goes in for more, and he re-peaks him twice. They spill out onto the site once again. This could be a reoccurring theme. This is where we were talking about maybe that lack of strategy playbook. Snappy straight through towards Ivy. As the 2 T's aggression do connect and fork in the road towards the site. Snappy goes in for another one, suddenly down to a 1-on-2. And hot off the back of FaZe, finally getting a bit of consistency and getting consecutive rounds. They've been put right into a 1-on-2 situation. coldzera's already been in one of these under very different circumstances, though. May get the drop and does get the drop on Snappy, but the last player of Alu is completely unknown. He has the bomb and gets the drop on coldzera from the back. Ice in Alu's.
And try to punish ENCE's low economy, despite the fact that they themselves don't really have anything to spin here. They got the Deagles, and the scout of Brokey's already been found out.
Karrigan up close, getting 1 and a second. How the hell does he manage to transition into that second 1D onto D-Hat through the box as well?
And they already had 2 players on this inner site. And Karrigan's not too far off from rotating.
He's not. Twist can put a bullet down range. That is huge. And look where the bomb is spilled down. One of the 2 of them has to go back out into the open. Go up the ladders again. And coldzera, he's striking in with more. 23 seconds on the clock. And I don't know if Dotto realizes just how grim this situation is. He's being flanked as well. And FaZe, it's their turn to come out with the Eagles. It's their turn to stick the landing. And it all comes off the back of the IGL. Karrigan, again, when he's called upon. Lack of utility with a minute plus on the clock. So they will maneuver their way and erupt out onto the site. coldzera, though, is the man for the job. He blockades with 2 kills and a lot of damage with the scout is being inflicted from Brokey. Going to be pushed from the side, but not before he silences Alu. It's another scrappy one. It's another round where maybe ENCE can sneak and slither their way out of the site and potentially to a third. But Twist's making moves in, and the Canadian will pounce. Aim on point and true to deliver the frag. He spots the second, but Carrigan takes it away from him, slowing down the pace. Only 3 smokes left, and not many flashes either,
right.
Dust. They are lacking on utility.
Sure, but the other side of the coin, Vince, is now that FaZe won a clean round, they have the money to have utility to slow down fast pushes with the smokes and incendiaries, which is forcing ENCE to play a little bit more careful. But they are still trying to explode in this inner yard, and they're actually making some progress. And now Dhow is on pretty big flank in the back halls. This could get dangerous.
That's a dirty little off angle with the smoke as well, and Dhow is flanking Brokey, who's finally got it up and takes him down. It looked like Dhow was about to rip this round open and close it off for FaZe, but instead FaZe stand tall, and it's that man Carrigan again of Pop Dog. But FaZe are doing such a good job of actually falling back and using their superior weapons at range. Rain already tapping off the head of Spinks and be turning his attention towards E-Box, where he sees players pushing through, but Dhow running interference, being the chaos creator, pushing straight through onto Ivy, and now Dotto's got him with 2 more frags. Rain needs to hold the line. 7 seconds left for the Norwegian, and he will fall on his sword. The 1 AK
Rain phase of virtually all their resources for the weapons that they have. Cold trying to get aggressive inner halls is going to be caught. It's a great pickup from Dado, but now you need to get a move on after your ENCE, and they're doing just that.
Carrigan, though, bit of a different angle. The back train, Rain and Twists have both put down frags. And with 23 seconds, now the pressure is swarming. They need some big picks, and Alu's going to come in with 1. Pop Dog is held onto. Position has been given away to his adversaries, and they will pray down and chomp in with the round. It's
again, playing that very constricting forward angle style of defense. Oh my, it just gets worse with that. And oh, he can't even be traded by Dado. That is pivotal for FaZe that Cold's done that.
Great news across the board on the CTs. Dhow has to try and dig them out this ditch, but Carrigan just...
So it does seem like they are trying to find Alu out, and it seems like only a matter of time before they discover him.
Oh, it's after time, isn't it? That was really close on the mark, actually.
You would really hope so, because at that point, it would basically equate the amount of rounds ENCE have won with weapons versus rounds with just pistols like this. But it does seem like coldzera and Twist are, you know, bringing us back to sanity with those couple of kills, getting the main advantage for FaZe. Good incendiary here towards the bomb train, going to flush these post-plant position players out into awkward space, allowing them to be reaped by Cold, who just continues to tee off with that AK, leaving Snappy all alone with the Tech 9 here in the Brown Halls.
No more lead to bank off the wall. He is living on borrowed time, and coldzera has collected. Smoke has forced away Carrigan, but they may have to push out into him. He's on 13 kills at the moment, and it's coming head-to-head with Snappy, who takes his head clean off. Brokey gets 1 in return. A weakened Spinks has to pull the plug and get out of there, but the player advantage is in favor of ENCE, and now the grenade's starting to rain onto the site. Molly's to the top of train, forcing away some of these angles. There's still 50 seconds to play with. That flick from Brokey to be cognizant. He has to do his due diligence before he flicks in for another one. And Snappy, his next victim. He is a predator stalking this round. 30 seconds to play with. Flash up and over. And a low Spinks has to try and somehow carve a path through the end of this round. Spinks now coming in. 17 HP left and he goes down. We'll be cutting to a break
on this map. So we are going to see some challenges go over towards Ivy.
2-for-1 trade. FaZe do take the advantage, and that hammer in the hands of Carrigan, as he is the puppet master right now, and he's pulling all the strings, and he's also pulling out a great performance for himself, by the way. Leading by example. Spinks, excellent headshot onto coldzera, gives them a chance into the round. They still have control over the bomb, though, FaZe, and they're looking to try and spill out onto A.
Yeah, it seems like that is the final destination here, as Twist is getting backstabbed, though, but he flicks the 180 for a dink onto Dhow, forcing him into the back halls. Twist trades up to the USP, and now they start spilling out onto the site. Snappy being challenged over here in the back. Twist will finish him off. Carrigan finds Dhow, and now it's all on Spinks.
Already 1 kill to his name, and he's put a second in as well. Both players are very low. Brokey's on 1 HP and Twist's on 59. Now, ammunition may start to be a bit of a problem. Only 14 bullets left, putting them down and nearly flicks to the head of Twists. But with his life, maybe the map will follow. I'll see if they can douse off the flames a little bit here with some of these pistols. They still have that scout, as we highlighted before. They're able to successfully save, but Twists and Carrigan turn it up a notch, pour the gasoline on. And although ENCE didn't really have much in this round, they'll have a buy into the next. As you touched on, it could be their last chance now. We've got into such dangerous, awkward situations where Snappy desperately just trying to clamber on for a kill or two, and DHat with just a USP can't really foreseeably get anything out of this round at this point.
Yeah, when you had that line about dousing gasoline, my brain is so broken that I was thinking of...
Don't advise it, definitely don't. Ooh, those grenades though are looking good, and ENCE out of the back of a buy with plenty of Augs and an AWP have sustained one casualty in the form of Spink, smoke, mollies, flashes, everything being tossed onto A side as this war ensues. ENCE fighting down. They know the importance to try and remedy the situation. The spiraling downward trend has continued, and it's the Canadian that tries to just twist the knife in their back with his AK down to 5 bullets. But Coldzera steps up alongside Twists, and that could be it for ENCE. The curtain comes down, and this has been a far cry from their performances against the likes of Vitality. It's been a bit of a dud so far, I think it's safe to say. Twist, though, is just going to put this off as fast as possible, administer the mercy across to ENCE, who are floating away into the nether. It's all on Dotto with a scout in hand, and as much as he's doing damage and landing some frags, it feels like just a drop in the bucket, and they will be doused down fully. FaZe consistently have been the better team, and they convert 16-4. We're headed to a break. After, we'll be breaking this one down. Straight up banana, HE tossed down. Does it a little bit of damage, actually a lot more than a little bit, nearly 100 damage just by itself. Softens up so many of these Ts, and now they can be pivoted into. Spinks posted the back of the site, already with one, and putting that aim to use for 2. Runs out of ammunition, should be going down, but Snappy has his back covered, and the damage has been done. It's a close-out round.
The apartment, so they're getting a lot of map right now.
Yeah, tons of information. They can hear the footsteps just below them, but Alu peeks out, gets tagged down to 50. They've already taken down Spinks. Add Snappy into the mix, and the B site's fallen.
Bomb is headed. Even FaZe is still kind of figuring out exactly where they want to commit it. So this is going to slide out, spots the closet player, gets that kill. D-How able to find his man. But now FaZe know where they can bring this bomb and just work together. They know that there was at most one at A. They find it. Bomb will go down. And so FaZe is going to give us a very kind of deja vu feeling to how Train played out, with kind of that 1-1 scramble at the start rather than some type of team. And the team will follow up.
They charge in, double player stack, make it 3. But as DHat gets a bit too antsy, a bit too overzealous, he is punished by Rain, and Twists has finished off the rest. There was a slight glimmer of hope. A window was being opened, but it gets slammed shut on ENCE, and they're forced out. And to be fair, they may even just try and hold on to these last 2 players and their Kevlar and weapons.
Right, and I like that we're kind of starting to see Twist early on in this game, and really throughout the matches played so far with FaZe, with Carrigan on the squad, be in that star role. They're letting him the map and kind of just holding position or trying to cause rotation.
So yeah, I'm very excited
so
about
many
this
times.
lineup.
I mean, think about Rops, think about Frozen, you know, think about some of the guys that has gone through Carrigan's leadership and what they've become since. And Twist has already shown you that he can be big even without Carrigan. Imagine what the combination can be, you know. So that is definitely something as kind of like a third-party neutral analyst just trying to study the game that makes me excited about the future of this team and the future of Twist as a player. Let's say, what, like 2016 time frame, like late 2016 and early 2017, the way that he built that team up, bringing in players like Nico, you know, and having Valda as a big tool, and what that team was able to accomplish. I feel like Snappy's leadership was very much like highly touted. But then I feel like when he had that whole experiment with Optic...
It's far from ideal, to be honest. For Masses, MP9 also tossed in the mix with no utility really to speak of, and no kits either. Twist with the FAMAS just runs straight out and peels back 2 heads. And it's a 3rd on top of it, and the blink of an eye, the snap of the fingers, Twist has taken the site, and ENCE are forced to save again.
Much sometimes. More ways than one.
Oh, Snappy Plug and Twist down to 1 HP, still stands tall enough to deliver the frag onto Spinks. And let's be honest, their economy's in such good shape, he doesn't even
owns to have so much money, which is kind of impressive. Over here in the States, as Twist just
plays the likes of Alu. Well, he's yet to get off the mark. He's had a bit of a slow start to this one. Carrigan, every bit the veteran, if not more so, and he's put down 1 frag. Does get traded out. As an AK now trades hands to D-Hab, I doubt that they'll do their due diligence, toss over a flash. That's even if they want to go B-site, because they're already edging their way back towards middle. D-Hab has been splattered by coldzera's AK. And if they were already thinking about going A, I think that sealed the deal. That's definitely given them the green light to hit A site, and it is completely fair.
I like the call, because you know that things can get claustrophobic in that B site, and you don't want to run into a stack, and they know that they had likely caused a rotation based on the pressure they were applying. So to go ahead and pull the pin with coldzera, having apartments control and being able to find a pick was the perfect mid-round read to get themselves out of a potentially sticky situation by running into some type of, dangerous crossfire from Deagles. They avoid that whole potentially big angle that Spinks was ready to put to use, and they will very cleanly get a 5th round here. They may only wind up having lost 1 player in the process, though. There is a chance Alu might be able to reap a couple of more on his way out, but no, Cold will be successful in his fight. In A territory is the other thing. So now ENCE have no clue what's going on over at middle. They're trying to kind of keep an eye on it with Alu's AWP. And Spinks has that boosted position and does find his man before going down, but now they know where he is. They have him isolated. A great flash comes in, but Rain through it anyway finds Spinks.
It's not... Well, I was going to say last line of defense, but he has now been taken down as Rain puts the sledgehammer to use. Host plant comes into effect. Alu hasn't really been given any chances in this round, but they're still up close. And with their economy, with the situation as grim as it currently stands, they may feel compelled to try and go in. Desperation may be creeping in for the Finns and the pole. As Alu is now all alone. Last man standing and coldzera. Complete closed case. Cold, calculated, ruthless again on FaZe. And when you look at some of these previous results, they win against Vitality 2-0, they beat G2, they beat Mousesports, they beat Havu and knocked down their win streak. To then come out with a bit of a whimper here against FaZe is quite surprising. It's been the nature in which they've been getting bested, thus that has been certainly catching my eye. But I don't even want to take anything away from FaZe. I don't think it's ENCE necessarily playing poorly. I think FaZe have just been that damn good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely accurate. And I think obviously the economic problems that ENCE have had on their CT side, I mean, you're never really able to get rolling. The one round that Alu had an AWP, he had to basically play a tough retake on the B site. So I do think it's also a sense of sometimes when you fall this far behind this early and you're on the CT side, you're going to be lacking in one department or another. Like, this is one of those maps where utility on the CT side is so important. Like, you're the one trying to stop team
damage at best, and they don't necessarily have a huge amount of utility behind it. Snappy's been picked off as well, which just adds to the woes.
Yeah, and it's picks on opposite ends of the map almost simultaneously. It's forcing ENCE to really scramble as they're very spread thin. They still don't really know what the focus is for FaZe. They do still kind of have Spinks in a forward position over towards the cart here at Banana. And so it's really going to come down to what Rain wants to do and what he can find.
Oh, it feels like Alu's completely screwed unless timing gets the better of Rain, which it won't. Splatters Alu from behind. Diha now does at least get one in return, and it does definitely give him a chance, a fighting chance, but his teammate's not moved yet. They're not even sure as to whether this is a B or an A hit, so Diha's all alone. He just catches a glimpse of the player pushing into pit and takes his head off. And now Diha has every chance of clutching this round out, but he has been...
And it's to have to hold their ground on both ends, and it gives Kerrigan a chance in the 1v1.
The timing may work against him because Spinks took so long. Carrigan started to doubt himself. The rest of his teammates, and they may very well try and pivot their way back around. Another smoke has now been tossed in, but Twist position is so powerful, and he finishes off what Rain started down middle in that opening trade. There are still 2 players on the A side, including Diha, who's just hit a vein of form. But he's really called upon multiple more times, and Carrigan is actually wrapping around the back of B in the amongst all of this action and chaos, and maybe try and deal with any rotational player. In doing so, it allows the Sanctuary of FaZe to rotate the bomb all the way across the B, and Snappy only has a UMP to his side. He has to try and hold this all alone. 13 seconds to play with, though. If he can pull out the rabbit out of the hat and just spray down a couple players, it could be good enough as he's looking to go for that wide swing. 5 seconds to play with, but Brokey is checking his angles, and even though Diaha has splatted Brokey afterwards, the bomb gets planted down, and a 3-on-2 comes up with Otto on exceptionally low HP. Surely ENCE are about to succumb again, and there's a flank player coming around the back as well, by the way. coldzera is making moves all the way around CT side. They need kills right now. If ENCE are going to have any chance at clutching this, Diha or Dotto have got to go massive. They're missing too many bullets, and they're both going to get costed as a result down.
Onto Adiko, and they're well on their way to just building up another huge lead.
Good utility tossed up and basically isolated those two banana players. The flashbang, though, yet to get off the mark with frags. Maybe this is his moment as the flash comes through. Looking, pounces in for his first and tries to connect into more, but it will be a one and done. Dotto, only 10 ADR to his name, is looking to try and pick up a few more frags and a few more damage, and he does get it done onto Karrigan, who runs out of ammunition, but still, they're locking it down from pit, and Dotto is stuck on site. They know exactly where he is. AK-47 has been picked up, and a low Brokey against him with an AWP does make this maybe a doable situation, but coldzera
up in 11th round for FaZe, and ENCE staying at 2 because their economy is absolutely in tatters, and Brokey's already taken one op off the board. Snappy tucked into the corner at the sandbags, trying to hold this ground. He's good for one, but that's going to be all, and that's not good enough as FaZe are just tearing ENCE apart all across the map, Vince.
It feels like ENCE are out of ideas. Like, this just seems like a team that has run out of steam. They can't keep the pace with FaZe. They're just being, as you said, outmaneuvered at every single turn. And the reason I'm not even really talking about Dotto
lineup, they're already giving you some hints on how powerful they really can be with the firepower that they've put together and the leadership of Karrigan that they have at the helm. And they are looking for the 11th round here, as we were kind of noting. Just the economy not there for ENCE, as has often been the case throughout this half, unfortunately for them. 4-on-3 right now. There are a couple of weakened players out there, though, so there are some chances maybe for ENCE, but that erases one of their big shots at it.
Yeah, we've got to that kind of territory where, like, a pistol kill, and we're getting somewhat excited. Okay, that definitely throws a cat amongst the pigeon. What are the slight glimmering hopes on ENCE? He misses his chances, and the HE has also gone right down the middle of both FaZe players. They're dodging all of these bullets, all of this shrapnel, and now Karrigan puts the bullet down range, showing he's still got it with the AWP, but Brokey just splatters Spinks.
Also, if FaZe commits to middle, this might be a little bit tough.
Hopefully ENCE can get it done, but of course they check the angles, and there's a perfect flashbang tossed out there. There was no secondary player playing anti-flash, and a Molotov alongside it, so Diha was just dangled on the end of a rod, and Twists goes fishing.
It just seems like every time he comes out, when we're watching the other players' POV, they're dead in the blink of an eye. They never even really get a chance to pull the trigger. Twist's just been so clean. He might even ace this round. No, Snappy will not allow that, but who cares at this point, really? FaZe are just dominating the scoreboard here. Snappy trying just to save this M4 over towards construction area. And even if he were, it's just such a small victory to claim, and he won't...
Out of nowhere, and was just an absolute... Yeah. He's not even been required this game. Nope. He's 8 kills. Like, he doesn't need to do anything. Karrigan, straight up, gets the entry, instantly retorted on, but that's still going to favor FaZe.
Yeah, absolutely. There is some banana control there here from ENCE, as we do see Spinks getting very aggressive with the MP9, so that could be a huge factor in their favor. He does take Brokey down. Twist actually only good for 1 this time around, which has been a rarity. And so hold the phone. There is a chance for ENCE in this final round to half, though. Cold has no to find 1v2, can't get past the second, so
they want any hope of pulling this one off, and it is going to be pushing straight towards the A site. Brokey is waiting. Nades are put down with a ton of bullets behind them, and now Snappy, although he can get one. The
Tech-9s and a few Deagles. A couple players have already had some hell taken away. FaZe claiming some control of top banana, and they will push forward with the MP9 and the Nova, and they will reign supreme. A 3-2 trade. FaZe now up. Some challenges over here at middle with Twist, but they fall back off of it.
Well, Brokey
spot him.
Yeah, pushing down banana. He knows exactly what's coming up. He keeps going. They hear the footsteps, and that nearly gets his life across to ENCE. That could have been a 2v2, but instead the bomb's been spilled down. Dotto with 91 HP, with only 2 kills to his name. Would have to go above and beyond, although his aim looked towards coldzera's head.
I mean, they could really do whatever they want at this point.
Yeah, taking some liberties. Hopefully it doesn't get into complacency, but Rain shows it's completely worth the pickup as he goes farming for frags with the Nova. Finally is silenced. The damage has been inflicted, although ENCE did bounce back with another kill on coldzera, and Broky's been tagged down. This puts a bit more of the emphasis on Karrigan's M4, but if we've seen anything so far today, it's that he's up to the task, and he passes it again with flying colors. 12 match points.
Yeah, ENCE look broken, man. It looked like a bunch of scattered pieces.
They want to put this one down real quick. To be devil's advocate, though, if they do concede this, they've put a lot of money into the round, so maybe there's a way back forward. But of course, Broky shows that the triple op setup can't be very much a success as he picks up the first play. It's going to be Dhat. Lack of utility as they look to try and push onto the site, and Dotto's been finished off next, and Broky goes in again. The House of Cards is coming down, trying to get the no-scope at the end, being cheeky, but Alu is being overwhelmed. There's players behind him, in front of him, and at least he gets a kill. He's about to get fragged by Karrigan, or perhaps not. Alu's still in with a chance in this round. He's being pushed down from another player down towards middle who may get the drop on him. And there is coldzera. That's going to be all she wrote. 16-3, the easiest of 2-0s. And we'll be back after just a short break.